Hello friends, thank you for watching this video. I am Muhammad and today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. We're gonna be unboxing a MacBook Pro M1 Max, and basically we're gonna be installing and configuring it so it will be ready for cloud and .NET and iOS development. So if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. It will really help the channel. Now let's jump into it. To replace my 2016 old MacBook Pro that I had for roughly around 4 or 5 years now, it's time for an upgrade. And the upgrade is basically gonna be a new, actually not a new, a refurbished MacBook Pro 16 with, I think, the M1 Max, I think, inside of it. So let's unbox it and let's set it up for .NET and iOS development as well, the cloud. So this is the box. As you can see, it's going to be a bit different than the normal MacBook because it's a refurbished one. We can see here it has Apple certified refurbished, and I think the rest of it's going to be the same thing, but let us see what's happening inside the box. So once we open the box, we can see that we are treated directly with the MacBook. So let's see. We can see that we have the MacBook directly there, and basically if we open this, we can see that we have, looks to be very clean. So let's see what else do we have in the box. So we have the new charging cable, which I think is MagSafe. Let's make it closer. And I think we have some paperwork, and I think we have the charger. I think this is gonna be a 140 watts. So we can see this is the new charger. Okay, this is my first unboxing, so bear with me. So yeah, so we can see here this is the charger, and this is the cable. Okay, great. So let's take these out. Let's close the box. And let's see what do we have here. So let's open this up. Let's see. So here it is. As we can see, I got the space gray one, and we can see that we have all of the ports back that we wanted with MagSafe. I'm not sure if it focused. Yep. We can see here all of the ports, and let's open it up. And you can see here that we are greeted with the Apple logo. Let's remove this. So now I'll continue with the setup process, and we'll let you know when it's time to set it up for all of the .NET, Cloud and iOS development.
A few moments later.
So now that we have set up our Mac, the next step for us is we need to do some configurations. So the first thing that we need to do, let's go to our Apple logo here, and then we can click on Preferences. And once we are in Preferences, we can see that we have multiple options here. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to go to Dock and Menu Bar. And within here, what I usually do first is I make the dock smaller. So basically this is, I think, the preferred size that I like. So we can see this is a amount of size that I usually prefer. And once we specify the dock size, usually what I like to do is I like to make it automatically hide and show, because I don't really like the dock to be apparent all the time. It will save a bit of a screen real estate, and specifically if you're working on the go, you need to basically optimize your real estate as much as possible. So that's the first thing. The second thing is within the control center, If we scroll all the way down, what I like to do is I like to remove the spotlight icon, because basically if we take a look here, we don't really need the spotlight icon. What I can do is usually I utilize the command spacebar and then directly find the spotlight from there. I don't really like the Siri icon, because basically what we can do is we can just say hey and it will automatically show up, and then basically the rest I'll keep the same as is. And then once we have all of that, usually for the battery menu bar, I keep it as is, but I tick on this one so it will appear in my control center. That's really helpful. And if we scroll all the way up within the control center, I leave everything as is. I don't really change anything here. So once we have finished with this first item from the menu bar, the next thing is we go to general. And basically what I always do is make sure that I'm always in dark mode, and basically all developers like to have dark mode enabled. So that's what I do here. So once all of this is set, the next thing is basically we need to customize the Finder. So let's open a Finder. And within here, what we need to do is we need to go to View. And within the view here is I always like to select these two. So first of all, right now, because it's already selected, it's saying hi status bar, but if we see it disappear, but then I show status bar, we can see that it gives me an information about the files that I have, how much storage that I have available, so on and so forth. And then for example, let's go again, and if we go to view, hide path bar as well, if you know it disappeared, but usually I like to know where I am inside my folder structure, so I always say show path bar. So that's the two main things that I would like to do usually to my Finder. So once we have done all of that and we have done all of the setup, next what we're going to be doing is we're going to start installing some of the software that we're going to be utilizing on daily basis. And we're going to start first of all by utilizing Homebrew. So let's open our web browser. And basically within our web browser, what I'm gonna type is Homebrew. Reject all. And once we go to Homebrew, all you need to do is just copy this link. Let me zoom in a bit. So basically, what is Homebrew? Homebrew is like a package manager for your Mac. You can install all of different application packages, SDK, everything that you might need, from applications to development to everything that you might need to make your Mac up and running, or basically your development environment up and running. Homebrew will be able to help you with that. So for this, what we can do is all we need to do is copy this one. We can click on this button here, then we can open our terminal. And once we have opened our terminal, what we need to do is we need to just paste it. I hit enter. Because I have already done this, I'm not gonna do it right now, but in essence, once we have Homebrew installed, we're gonna be basically have something similar to this. So once everything is installed, we're gonna have something similar to this. So if we, for example, we can say brew install, or basically brew list, and we can see all of the packages that I have already installed on my machine. So here you can see I have installed the .NET SDK, Insomnia, Notion, Visual Studio Code. All of these we're gonna go through them. But for example, all of this I have installed through Homebrew instead of me having to go through the different websites in order for me to download them. As well, it will help me keep track of the latest version. So in case there's an update, I don't have to go through the website to find the latest version for me to download, update, and install. All I need to do is utilize a single command within Homebrew in order for me to update all of my packages and all of my software. So that's great. So now that I have installed Homebrew, the next step is for me to start installing some of the packages. So the first thing is we want to download the .NET SDK. So basically because we do mostly of .NET development. So if I want to download the .NET SDK for Homebrew, all I need to do is type .NET SDK Homebrew. And basically once you do that, the first thing is usually you're going to be able to see the command for you to install your .NET SDK. And we can see from here that the command to install it is pretty straightforward. All I need to do is copy it and put it inside my terminal. And once I click on enter, it should automatically install for me. And the nice thing about that, it will automatically detect that my Mac is running on a ARM chip or Apple chip. It will not utilize the Intel architecture. So the Intel architecture is usually x86. And basically for the ARM is basically gonna be, for the Apple Silicon is gonna be ARM architecture. So when I do the install utilizing Homebrew, it will automatically detect what type of system that I have, and it will download the package based on the system. So that way I don't have to utilize Rosetta 2 in order for me to make my SDK compliant. All of that is already taken care of because I already have the right version of my SDK being installed. So once I do that, it's being automatically installed here. So the next step is once we install the .NET SDK, then we need to download Insomnia. So I'm gonna type Homebrew, Insomnia, and basically, if you don't really know Insomnia, it's basically one of the best tools for you to test your API. It basically allows you to have all of your API available for you. So if you can test them, you can utilize different at endpoints, different calls. You can basically embed authorization. You can request different APIs. You can do, you can collect API endpoints together for different services. It's a really nice tool. So what we need to do here is basically copy this, open, for example, terminal, and let's put it here again. And once that is completed, you're gonna have Insomnia installed. So let's open Insomnia. Yes, open. See, I just fairly installed it right now, so it's fairly new. So once you open Insomnia, you're gonna see this window. No, we don't want to share any analytics. And basically here we can see it's very simple. All you need to do is basically specify what type of request do you want to do. And once you select what type of request you want to do, you just specify here the endpoint that you want to call. And then if you have any body, you can, for example, click here, that's a JSON body. You specify what type of JSON body you want. If it has any authorization, you put it here. Any specific header, you add it here. And basically, once you have done all of that, all you need to do is click on send, and basically you will be able to call that API. And that's not the only nice thing about it. So if you click here on Insomnia, you can create collections. So for example, let's say I have one application which has a set of APIs. I have another collection with a different set of APIs, third and fourth. What I can do is basically I can collect all of these endpoints based on the application that I'm building or I'm testing. And basically once I have all of those ready, I can directly just call them and basically have everything already set for me instead of every time trying to recreate all of this. And as well, you can synchronize this. So if you have already an account, you can basically link it to your account and basically be able to synchronize all of these calls. So now that have installed Insomnia has been installed, the next step for us, if we go to our terminal, is basically to install Notion. And I'm sure Notion does not really need any introduction, but basically Notion is a tool that you can actually utilize to organize your life, organize your coding, organize your journey when you're trying to learn something. Basically, you can utilize it for everything. And I like to use it basically to organize the project that I'm working on, organize some of the YouTube video content that I do. It will help me allow plan for the future, for example, for a lot of the videos content that I'm planning to make. It's a very good tool, and it has a free version, which is really nice. Although I highly recommend paying for the paid one. I don't do it at the moment, but I see a lot of benefit to it. So once we do, for example, we want to install Notion, we'll go to Homebrew, Notion, and basically reject. And here what we can do is just copy this, go to our terminal, paste it here, and we'll have Notion installed. I'm not gonna open Notion right now because it has all of my personal items, but you get the idea. So once we have installed Notion, the other thing which is really important is iterm2. So iterm2. So basically, the default terminal that macOS have, it's a really good terminal. But if you want to customize it, it's really hard to customize it, specifically if you have like a specific style of coding or you have a specific style of interface that you'd like to have within your terminal. So that's where iterm2 come. It's an open source a terminal which you can utilize and download for free. It's a very powerful, where you can install plugins, so on and so forth. So if we go to iterm2, all you need to do is for you to download is basically you can download it from here. I don't recommend it. I recommend downloading it through Homebrew, which is what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to go back, put iterm2 Homebrew. And basically once you go here, select on this one, copy this, go back to your terminal and install it. And once you install it, Basically, it will ask you for permissions. Once you have all of that in place, you don't need this anymore. Let's close it. And once it has installed, you will be able to see that I have iTermed installed here. So out of the box, you're not going to be seeing it similar the way to I have it right now, because I have already installed something called OhmyZH. And OhmyZH is basically, it allows you to customize your iTerm to way better. So let's see it. So once you have iTermed installed and you have it open, so you go to OhmyZH. And once you are on this website, click on install. And basically you will see this link. So all you need to do is copy it. And once you copy it, you go to iTerm, you paste it and click on enter. It will automatically make it, it will automatically change for you. So once you have done all of that, the next thing I recommend installing is Power Level 10. Is this it? Yeah. Power Level 10, which is basically a theme for OhmyZH. So let's go see it all the way up top. So for example, this will allow you to have the similar structure that I currently have, which is basically, you can see that I have the Apple logo, I have the home. Let's see, Control C. So for example, if I go to desktop, work, learning.net, and let's see, what do I have? API, which is a future video that I'm doing. And if we go here, for example, you can see that, let's see, API, I didn't add it here. So let's go to my, let's go back. That's not here. Oh, okay, it should be inside my project. So CD bits, that's where portfolio. And you can see here that it will show me, for example, what the branch am I in. If I put, if I have anything, for example, pending for me to commit, everything is going to be appearing here. So it's a really good tool to have. So all you need to do to install it is, let's scroll a bit down. So let's go to the installation. So basically what you need to do is you need to follow these steps here. So basically just copy this one, git clone all of this. And basically once you install it, you need to set up this level like here. So copy this one. And that's all we need to do. So once you have done all of that, it will allow you to, it will give you like a setup journey or like a wizard where you can actually customize the terminal the way you like. And it should take roughly around like a minute for you to go through all of the selections and customize it. And once that is done, basically you will have your terminal the way you like. So now that we have covered OhmyZH and we have covered the different terminals that we have, let's go back through the main application. And let's go through terminal. Actually, let's do it from here. So let's clear this. So now CD, let's put brew list so we can see what other items that I have installed. One of the main thing I think every developer needs, specifically if you're working with web development, is you need other browsers other than the default Safari one. So for this case, what I recommend is to download all of them, which is basically what I do. I basically download Chrome, I download Edge, and I download Firefox. My main one is always Firefox and Safari, but everything regarding testing, I utilize Chrome for. So as well, similar concept to what we have done is basically we go to GitHub, to Google, we type Chrome, for example, Homebrew, and basically I click on here and I download it. And once I download it, I will be able to see it inside my application. And we can see I have here Chrome installed. Let's open it in a new window, for example, and you can see here this is my Chrome installed. So that's one aspect. So the other one is similarly, we go to Firefox, Homebrew as well. I download it from here. And once I do all of that, I basically set them up, sign into them, and make sure that they are running as they should be. So once we have covered that, the next step, which is all of us were waiting for, is the editors that I use. So basically the first thing is Visual Studio Code. It's a very lightweight, very powerful, it has a lot of extensions, really beneficial code editor that you can utilize for free. So put VS Code, Homebrew, and basically what you need to do is just copy this, go to your preferred terminal, paste it here, and click on enter. It will take roughly around a few seconds to be installed. Once that has been installed successfully, all you need to do is then, for example, to utilize it. So let's open Visual Studio Code. So let's go to code. And what I recommend after you have it installed and it's available for you is to sign in. So all of your, for example, extensions, all of your configuration is automatically synced across different devices and different computers. So what you can do is you can click on the interface here, or the small icon with the head in it. You click on it, and then basically it's gonna give you an option to sign in. Once you give the option to sign in, it will request you to log in through your email address or GitHub account, and once you do that, it will be automatically signed in. So since we are speaking right now about Visual Studio Code, let's go through a bit of the extension that I currently have, which basically makes our life really much more easier. So the first extension is, because we're .NET developers, is to have the C# extension installed, which is really important because it supports all of the latest features within the C# language. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I recommend to install is Docker. We haven't downloaded it yet, but it's like an extension which is really nice, which allows us to utilize some of the Docker functionalities within our Visual Studio Code. Then if you're utilizing a lot of Azure functions, I highly recommend downloading the Azure function extension. For you to be able to connect to Azure, I recommend utilizing the Azure account. It will make it much more easier if you have specifically different Azure accounts to switch between them. It's a really nice extension. And if you're utilizing a lot of DevOps and you're basically building your infrastructure, it's really important to have Terraform there, because it will allow you to have code completion. It will allow you to even verify some of your code. And then if you're using, let's scroll a bit down. So for the icons and for the layout, I like to utilize the VS Code icons as well as the material icon. I switch between them. Right now I'm on the material one, but you can choose whatever you like. As well, I like to utilize the SQL tool, will basically allow us to have access to SQLite. And lastly, I like to have the YAML. It's an extension provided by Red Hat, which allow you to have a bit of a code completion, and basically it will make Visual Studio Code much more supportive of YAML. So once we have done all of these extensions within Visual Studio Code, the next IDE that I download is Rider. And basically, if you're a .NET developer on a Mac, I think it's one of the best IDEs that you can actually utilize. So let's see it. So Rider is one of the best IDE that you can actually utilize when it comes to developing .NET on the Mac. Visual Studio is also a very good tool, and VS Code is a very good tool. But Visual Studio for Mac is still in preview, so there's a lot of stuff that you want to do which is not supported directly out of the box. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. And other thing is, Rider is not a free product; it's a paid product. But I think it's one of the most important tools that you need on your Mac if you're a .NET developer, because it's really good. It will help you facilitate everything that it comes from development, from debugging, managing the NuGet packages, everything that you might think of when it comes to .NET development. Rider is able to do. As well, it's always updated and always contain the latest versions. So, and the last IDE that I would like to install always after having Rider and VS Code is basically Xcode, because basically what I do is I do iOS development, so Xcode is really important. It's the only way to have native applications. So to download Xcode, all you need to do is go to the App Store, and you can search here for Xcode, and it's always the first one. And basically, once you have Xcode, I have already downloaded it, but you will be able to see something like Get button, and once you click on Get, it will ask you to download and install. Once you do it, your Xcode will be downloaded. Just be mindful, Xcode installation can take up to like 30 minutes. It's a very big project and the installation takes a lot of time, so just be wary of that and make sure you have an internet connection while you do all of that. So the next item that I highly also recommend is Git. So if you go to your browser, you put Git and you just type homebrew, and you copy this, and let's copy this and let's paste it here, And now this will install Git for us. And basically it tells me that I have already installed it, but in essence Git is really important for us to have. And another thing is really important is to basically have GitHub installed. So basically if you want to for example get your source code from GitHub and then push it back, so you don't have every time to so you don't need every time to reset it up again. And basically what you can do is you can have an SSH key generated on your machine, and then you add this to your GitHub configuration, and then once you do that you'll be able to pull and push and basically utilize GitHub any way you want instead of having to re-authenticate every time. So the way you do that is basically you open GitHub. Okay, I have already signed in on a different screen, so let me bring it here. So this is my GitHub account. Please, if you're not following me there, make sure you follow me there. And for example, what I need to do is within my GitHub account, I think let us just open a new tab and put generate SSH key Mac. So once you do this, I highly recommend following these steps here. So basically what you need to do is, where is it? Just copy this one here, copy these, update your email or the comment here to whatever you want. And basically once you have all of this, you need to copy it. And once you copy it, all you need to do is come to your settings, and from settings just click on, where is it, SSH and GCP keys. Just click on it there, and once you click on it there, it will ask you to paste the code that you have copied. Once you paste it and save it, you'll be able to do all of the git, pull, sync, all of the things that you want within your repositories. So let's go back. Once we have all of this installed and basically get configured, I think the last step is to basically make sure you enjoy your Mac, because basically this tool is going to be with you every step of the way. It's really important to also utilize it not only for work, but also for like anything it makes you happy with. And I really think that these new architecture will be way much stronger, and basically it will help facilitate all of the developments that we need to do. I hope you liked this video. Please like, share and subscribe if you did. It will really help the channel. If you have any questions or any suggestions about other programs that you would like to install when it comes to configuring a new Mac, please leave them in the comments down below, and have a great day.